Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm JoeFighter21, and today I'm going to be talking to you people a little bit about body image. Now, I see a lot of people today who are very insecure with themselves, and they don't really feel comfortable with themselves. They're always trying to lose weight, or they're always trying to gain muscle. They're always trying to do something to change themselves, which is, don't get me wrong, that's a good thing. I used to be extremely overweight. When I was 16 years old, I weighed 285 pounds. I was a fat motherfucker. And that was back when I played football in high school, and that was around the time I quit football in high school because I realized it kind of promoted the whole big hulky, overweight type of status when it came to being a bigger guy. Because I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'2", 185 pounds now. So in the span of almost 3 years now, I've lost 100 pounds, and I've gained a lot of muscle, and not superbly ripped or anything, but considering I used to be ridiculous, I think I look pretty good. And, I realized that a lot of people don't really appreciate themselves, and they're not really comfortable with themselves. Like, they look at themselves and they're, like, disgusted. They're like, oh, if only I could look like someone else. But, I've come to realize that it's not about what you look like, whether or not you have a six-pack, a beer belly, or flat ass, badonkadonk, you got double D's, or you're flat-chested, or you're bald, or you got hair like mine. It has nothing to do with any of these physical aspects of your personality that you focus so much on. It's more or less about how you are comfortable with yourself. Are you comfortable in your own skin? Can you come off as confident and happy inside yourself? And when you can do that, it doesn't really matter about what you actually look like. It more matters about how you act. If you can act like you're a confident and, well-thought individual who doesn't really care if he's a little chunky or if he's kind of skinny or if he's a little short or if he's too tall, it doesn't matter, because I've spent a lot of time in my life wishing I could be like someone else, wishing I could have a six-pack, or wishing I could be one of those really small 5'6" guys that could do backflips and be all acrobatic. But that's not me. I'm pretty much a damn giant. And, I've kind of had to accept this. And it was by accepting this that I realized it became a lot easier to not only get with girls, but just to talk to people in general. I mean, you have to come off a certain way. I mean, if you come off as really unsure of yourself and you're always really quiet and off in the back, and you don't really want to say anything, you don't want to offend anybody, everybody kind of thinks you're that awkward person that doesn't really know how to express themselves. And you see, the thing is, you don't need to be eloquent or educated or anything like that to express yourself. You just got to be comfortable with yourself. You got to be like, yeah, I'm a little fat, but I make up for it with all things I do. I'm a good person, and I love myself. You got to be able to love yourself as a person, because if you can't love yourself, no one will be able to love you, and that's just how it is. And if you try and be in a relationship and you're constantly putting yourself down and acting depressed, that person's not going to want to be in that relationship with you. They're going to be like, why am I with this person if all they ever do is complain about things they don't have and things they can't do, and how they look bad, how they have a flat chest, how they don't have abs, or whatever. It's this crap that you complain about that drives people away. It's this attitude that you have inside yourself that makes people not want to be with you. It doesn't matter that you have a beer belly or a six-pack. It couldn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I mean, I'm not a super in-shape guy, but, I'm not exactly unlucky with girls either. But this didn't happen overnight. I remember being in high school, I was awkward, like really awkward. Like, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was a little bit of an outcast. And, right around age 17, I decided what I wanted to do with my life, kind of got on my own path, I suppose. And, once I did that, I started losing weight. I grew out my hair a little bit, grew in the facial hair and whatnot. And I looked like a completely different person. And I felt like a completely different person, because the thing is, you're never who you really are, who you were yesterday. You're always changing. You're always trying to become someone new. Like, you can keep certain aspects of your personality the same, and, keep some of that aspect of self, but it doesn't really matter when it comes to if you're changing for the better, because you can't have somebody else change you. You can't be forced to walk through a door, and you can't be forced to, take steps down your path. You have to do it for yourself. And, if you're doing it for other people, if you're trying to change yourself for other people, it's never going to happen. Ever. I'm sorry to burst anyone's bubbles, but it's just not going to happen. You have to change yourself for yourself. And when you do that, you become new. You become revolutionized. You essentially like transform yourself. And I went from supremely overweight to muscular, about 50 pounds lighter, and then I did martial arts and other physical activities like that, and I gained confidence and discipline through it. And afterwards, I realized that it wasn't the fact that I was lacking so much in the physical means; I was lacking up here. I was thinking in the wrong way. I was thinking of the wrong things to do to try and get people to like me. And that was the mistake right there, trying to get other people to like me. I don't care if other people like me or not. I'm doing my thing. And people are attracted to when you can be yourself and when you can be like your own individual person. No one likes that person who's always like, "Oh, what about them? What do they think of this? What if he says this about me? Or what if she says this about me?" No one likes that person because they see that person has no backbone. They have no character. They have no soul. They have nothing. And you have to have a certain amount of fortitude in order to actually be, your person, be you. Because, no one wants to be with somebody who is, like I said, unconfident, unsure, and just, doesn't know who they are. And, not everyone can figure out who they are. Everyone evolves at their own pace, but you have to start somewhere. And the only way you can start changing is to realize that there's something that you want to change there. You want to actually make something happen. You want to actually, you really do want to change, because it has to be from in here to actually make this change. It can't be, "Oh, I'm going to train you for a week," or "I'm going to get you a gym membership," or you're going to join a sport and you'll get in shape that way, or you're going to join a sport, you're going to get confidence that way. It's doing all these things and I hope to, I guess, make yourself different. It can help, but only if you're doing it for the right reasons. If you're doing it purely for other people, purely for the admiration and the adoration of females or men or whatever the hell you're into, I don't care if you're homosexual, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, whatever. It's all up to you. And it's perception. It really is. It's the perception of you. Do you see yourself as a person that you love, or do you see yourself as a person that you hate? Do you hate yourself when you look in the mirror? If you do, something's wrong, and you need to fix it. And it's not as easy as putting a band-aid on or readjusting something. It really has to come from you, I guess, being broken somewhat, whether it be through hardship or people physically attacking you, whatever. It has to be some type of trial, some type of experiment, something that would actually like spring forth and make you into a different person. And you have to be able to be willing to change. You can't be so stuck in your ways. You can't just be thinking, "Well, I'm the smartest guy out here. Everyone else around me is a fucking idiot." When you think like that, you're basically setting yourself up for a fall. Because, even if you are smarter than a lot of people in your school, the fact of the matter is, because you're saying that you're smarter than other people, that actually makes you stupider than a lot of other people. Because you're comparing your own intelligence to others. And you see, the thing is, there's an actual direct link that says that if you compare yourself to anyone else, it's a direct insult to both you and that other person. Because everyone is unique and everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own way of transforming. Everyone has their own way of doing things. My way is not going to be the same as yours, and vice versa. And we aren't going to agree on everything, but we can agree on one thing. Is the fact is, we have to, as individuals and as people, be able to love yourself enough to where you can change yourself and make yourself better. Not for anyone else, but for you. You want to make yourself into a better person. And a lot of people like strive to be that way, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people kind of give up and they don't want to change, or they think they can't change. And I'll tell you right now, I almost weighed 300 pounds. And now I am so much different. I talk to anybody who knew me from just a few years ago, and they're like, "Wow, Joe, you're such a different person. You look so different, and you act so different, and everything about you is different." But, at the same time, none of them ever say it's bad. I think it's because they can always, I think you can see a certain amount of potential inside somebody. You can see if they have the potential to change themselves or to do something great or what have you. But, I don't think a lot of people see that in themselves. All they see are the things they don't have, the things they want. You don't appreciate what's really there. Whether it be a strong will or high intellect or, even just the willingness to try and try again. It doesn't matter. You just have to have that willfulness, that strength to keep doing something and change yourself and make yourself into a better person. And as far as physical looks go, it doesn't matter that you might be a little fat or a little skinny or a little less well endowed than everyone else. It doesn't matter. So the thing is, it's been scientifically proven that people aren't attracted to your physical attributes. They're attracted to the proportions of these physical attributes. They want to see that you look good, regardless of how you actually look. If you look well balanced and like a good, like well thought out, strong, independent individual, people are going to see you like that, regardless if you have a belly or you have man titties or whatever. It doesn't matter. People will see the person that you put forth. And if you put forth an unsure person who doesn't like themselves, they're going to see an unsure person that they shouldn't like either. But I digress. It's all up to you to change you. And it's all up to you to change the way you look. And that's really, it's up to you. Do you want to change? I mean, do you want to actually have that physical change? Like, not everyone is able to do this. Not everyone is able to transform themselves. But it's the fact that you can do it. You just need to discover your own ability to do it. Everyone has a will. And you know the old saying, there's a will, there's a way. When I was overweight, I thought, I'll be fat forever. I'll be one of those fucking 300-pound fat asses on my computer all day, playing video games, and die at age 50 or something. And that was my depressed, self-loathing mind. But it wasn't until I actually changed myself over these past few years that I realized that that was just my own self-doubt. And that was my own, I guess, self-loathing. And, you have to get rid of that. Because if you hate yourself, no one will be able to not hate you. People will hate you just for, the fact that you aren't loving yourself. Because, the only way you can get people to respect you and to admire you is to respect and admire yourself. That's the Zen teaching right there. The only way to truly experience love is to be able to love yourself. Then you will be able to love everything around you. And I've always found that Zen is a very important philosophy. For any of you who are interested in it, definitely take a look at it because it helped me a lot. I mean, I'm getting a little off topic here, but originally I was a Christian at one point, and then the first religious, quote unquote, people that I met were actual Buddhist monks. They were Zen Buddhists, and they were these three really nice guys, and they were really polite and quiet. And back in the day, since I was overweight and I was kind of upset about that, I guess I had an anger problem. And they talked to me a lot, and they kind of helped me deal with that. They made me realize why I'm so angry, and why I was angry at other people, why I was angry at myself. And it was because I wasn't doing the things I wanted to be doing. And it was right at that moment that I realized I need to get on my own path, get on my own way. And you got to be brave enough and willful enough to walk your own path, because you'll be lucky to find anyone to walk with you. And more often than not, there will be no one to walk with you. But it's going along this path that you can hopefully find the right people to be with you, whether that be a relationship or just friends. It's up to you. Alright. Well, I'm Joe Fighter 21. Thanks for watching.